The webinar is being live streamed. I believe we are live, Hanna. So we want to welcome our amazing keynote speaker today. We're going to talk about 30 minutes. The reason why I brought Hanna on today is she is, I would say, an educator and an influencer in the hemp space. And everybody knows Cocoa Vida is a big believer in bringing everything hemp for the home. I know there's, bringing humanity back to nature. And hemp is a big force in that. And I know there needs to be a lot of education still. There's still a lot of confusion in hemp. But I believe, having been in this space for probably over 8 years now, Hannah, I can say that people like you are making a difference. We are making an impact. They are seeing more innovation in the hemp space. So this makes my heart happy. I still believe we're still on the forefront of innovation and open-mindedness, that you can do more with hemp. And actually, just in the US specifically, we need more machinery, and because we got rid of it. So there are some countries that are more dominant in being able to create hemp products than some other countries, but we're making headway. So I want to interview you today. So Hannah, tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of got you in this space.
Hi, thank you for having me. I stumbled upon CBD. I work as an alternative therapist in Sweden. I work with craniosacral therapy, applied kinesiology, biomagnetism, lymphatic massage, not the Swedish massage though. And I've always been interested in what can you do to promote your own health. And in 2018, I had a call from a friend who said, I found the next thing. It's CBD. And I said, I've never heard of it. And she said, oh, it can do all kinds of stuff. You know, it's neuroprotective. You can get rid of Alzheimer's, inflammation and pain. And she went on and on. And I said, I have to check with my husband before I, sign on as a on her team. And he said, no, you can't sign on to everything. So I waited like a week and then I said, okay, I'll try it. What's the worst thing that could happen? Better health. And I tried CBD and it was the thing for me.
So CBD was the first introduction.
Yeah, CBD was the first introduction. I didn't know anything. I had never heard of the endocannabinoid system. She didn't talk about that. I tried it, and when I talked to my friends, I was met with comments like, "Oh, you're taking drugs. That's so dangerous. I don't want to hear anything about it." And I said, "No, you need to know more." So I started to study and I read up. I bought books. I went on PubMed, and the more I read, I mean, the more fascinated I became. So I started, taking notes. I have 3 kids. I have a bad memory. In order to remember everything, I wrote stuff down, and after a while, I had a lot of information. So
So you took a different approach, Hannah, because there's individuals that receive information and they
yeah,
absorb it. Then there's other individuals that receive information, knowledge, and then they absorb it, then they give it out. And that's really a true version of humanity. It's when you receive something that has changed your life and you take it in, you apply it to your life, and then you educate. That's a
yeah,
true example of a pure human. They give, they get, they give, they get, give, they get. And so, or
yeah.
they get, they give, they get, they give. So it's giving out and helping people. And so I think you're a pioneer in this space in your country. I know that, having been in the space for 8 years, when you could Google CBD and nothing would come up. So
I
that's how long
know.
I've been in. I know, I mean, and now it's a lot tougher over there. It was a lot tougher over there in Europe, though, although they were more excited about it. So what took you on this journey where you felt, I have to write something. I have to take a lead and educate people by becoming an author in this space. Where did you come in to that space where you felt like, I got to do this in a big way?
I don't think I did. It just somehow happened. I wrote everything down that I found, and then when my friend said, "I want to read that," I said, "I just have to edit a little bit, so that it's readable for you." And then I did, and then she no longer wanted to read it. So I kept it in my computer for like a year. I kept reading on, but the book was in the computer. And then my sister said, come on, send it to a publishing house. And I did. And, it came back like I sent the email. They said, oh, this sounds good. So all of a sudden I had a book. I never meant to. I just wanted to see, I wanted to share everything that I found, because the more you read about this plant, the more amazing it is, both for the environment and your body. So I just want to tell everybody. But the problem was nobody wanted to listen. So
Well, now you're going to leave a legacy for years and years and years to come, including your children. Can be proud
it,
to say that my mom was part of a pivotal moment of bringing humanity back to nature and bringing awareness to an incredible plant that can transform almost everything in industry, whether it's health, you know, fuels, fabrics, building materials. I mean, you name it. This plant it's very under misunderstood. Tibor calls it the most misunderstood plant. So where do you see the future? First of all, let's talk about your books. Do you have them with you?
yeah, this is the Swedish version. It came
Okay.
out 2021. And then somebody said, Sweden, that's no market. Translate it. So I did, and then I sent it to an English editor. I just have a sample copy, so it's a sample over there, but it's the same. Hemp and CBD, a beginner's guide.
Nice.
It's
How
very
can they
basic.
get that, Hanna? How can they get your
It's
book?
Amazon all over the
Amazon.
world. Yeah, Amazon and Swedish internet stores.
Okay, okay.
So, but the English version is available on Amazon. The other one was picked up by a publishing house, so they do everything. Um,
That's
but
awesome.
but yeah, there's so much information I want to share, and when I go to fairs and talk about CBD, I'm always so happy that people are genuinely interested. Because
Mhm.
I mean, my family, frankly, they're like, yeah, and my friends, they're like, yeah, they know me too well to be interested in CBD.
Well, they say a prophet isn't a prophet in his own land.
Same in Swedish, exactly. I feel that really.
Well, we can't thank you enough for actually really not just understanding hemp. You take it to another level, Hannah, and why we wanted to interview. Where do you see the future with hemp? Where do you see this going? Are you optimistic? Tell me a little bit about your feelings.
I'm very optimistic and maybe a bit naive, but I mean, considering what we can do with hemp in an environmental aspect, and there's no limit. We can do everything that we can do with plastic. Why use plastic at all? This plant is fantastic. I mean, one thing that always people say, Chernobyl, the big atomic meltdown in former Russia. When that happened, that was 1986, and the Swedish town that picked up the most cesium, like because of the weather, was my hometown. So everybody talked about it. We couldn't eat stuff. We couldn't, we had a lot of contamination
Right.
in Gävle where I live, and the fact that they now uh, grow hemp in Chernobyl because it cleans the ground from cesium. Is that the same in English?
Yeah, I know
Uh,
what you're saying for
yeah, it's
radiation.
fantastic.
Hmm.
Exactly. So they actually they clean the ground around it. That's only one aspect, but imagine, what we can do. And that's not even the health aspects. That's, with batteries, cars, everything. I really hope that this will, catch on. Don't
I
you?
think it is. I'm seeing some really good information coming out. Some companies that are really taking a lead. We've actually talked to a few companies, one out of New
Yeah.
York that's really taken a lead in hemp fibers. We had to sign an NDA with them, so we can't really say what they're working on, but it's very innovative, and there's a lot of things that I think are going to be coming to the forefront. And so I'm happy to see that internationally. We just like people like you and bringing someone like yourself and highlighting you as one of the pioneers. And we have there's several that we know that are very strong advocates of this plant. And what I love about you, Hannah, is you don't just talk about it, you write about it, but you don't just write about it, you share it, and you have a lot of customers.
Yeah, well, I just love it. Why not try it? So good for the health.
What has it done for you? Talk to me a little bit about CBD because that's just one aspect of hemp. And when I talk about CBD, I talk about cannabinoids because I know the product that you love has multiple different, it doesn't just have CBD, it's got multiple different
No.
cannabinoids, which
Yeah.
all serve its purpose in the human body. So tell me why have you been so effective on getting customers? And what is it that drives you with this? You have
I
your own
I
store?
am driven by helping people finding their health. I mean, in Sweden, you are not allowed to treat diseases unless you're like a doctor or a nurse. I treat healthy people who aren't feeling well. And I mean, CBD and cannabinoids, the broad spectrum oil, it does so much for the body when it balances the ECS. So, I mean, everything from sleep to stress, neuroprotective. I've just come to the point that the more I read, as I've said already, the more amazed I am. And if people could only, open up for a second and try it, they will realize that it's so potential for your health, for avoiding disease. So yeah, I cannot not talk about it,
So tell
really.
me this, Hannah, what do you think the ignorant? Do you see any ignorance right now? And if so, what do you see on a more common on the side of ignorance still, or something that we need to work on for getting information? Do you feel like we're breaking through, or tell me your opinion?
I think you are breaking through. Absolutely. Before, like 8 years ago, people they thought CBD and cannabinoids were drugs. End of story, period. Now people are actually very interested, and I get phone calls and said, "Oh, I heard somebody said that you work with this, and what can it do for me?" So I think that people, even in Sweden, um, are actually getting more interested. But the problem over here is that sick care and medicines are free. We pay nothing. So paying for CBD oil, that's a lot of money for a Swede. We are not used to paying for our own health the same way as you are in the US.
Right.
But even that with Cocoa Vida, that's the great thing about you guys, apart from being lovable, it's affordable for everybody. Before it was really expensive and some people couldn't afford it. Now you've brought CBD oil to everybody.
Yeah, and that was actually, we have a mission of bringing everything hemp for the home. Everybody knows that's been our mission for many years. And one of the things we saw first and foremost is the price of CBD. And we had been in the space for as long as you have, and we saw the prices being outrageous. But then when we met, we started, and then we were selling it for other companies. And so then we started becoming, when we decided to start our own company, we became the owners and actually had to meet face to face with the manufacturers. And then we started seeing the prices of cannabinoids are dramatically reduced. And they were very clear that the prices have been massively reduced. But I'm thinking to myself, why hasn't these other brands reduced the prices? And so we as a company thought, okay, what is the first thing we need to do? Because everything we've done so far has been in the cannabinoid space. We don't have innovation over here for building materials and things like that. However, so I thought, okay, what's our first step? Our first step is to gut the price of CBD and make it affordable for all. And I hope you feel like we've done that. We're trying to do it the best we can. And because that's the first goal of Cocoa Vida. And then we move into more, of the textiles. Tibor's has invented a hair wax with hemp fiber. That'll be coming out this year. So there's a lot of exciting things coming out in the fiber world. But this was the first thing because we know a lot of people got a lot of benefits from cannabinoids and terpenes. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, they also got the expensive bill at the end of the month or sometime during the month that they had to pay to get these, something they felt was sustaining their health. And so we wanted to change that. And that was been that's why people say, well, why, you just do CBD. I said, no, that's where we start.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go, girl, right?
Yeah, right, right, absolutely. And one thing about the oil, I've struggled with getting CBD into my kids because of the flavor, and I'm not really fond of artificial flavoring, but this CBD with the monk fruit and everything, the kids love it. So
Who
that's
chose
also a
that?
benefit.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you mentioned that because people ask us, what's different about ours? Well, we put a very broad spectrum of cannabinoids. There's not just one cannabinoid. There's many different cannabinoids in there, and there's a lot of potency. Quality was not something we compromised on. Thankfully, the prices were low. Unfortunately, what people have seen in this space is outrageous prices for no reason. And so somebody's getting rich. I don't know who is, but it's not humanity. They're not
no,
benefiting from that. And so when we started seeing the benefits of this, we are like, okay, so how do we make it better? And then we saw that most companies use stevia. And then we also heard that a lot of people just trigger with migraines. So we had asked our manufacturer, can we replace it with monk fruit? And he said, well, we've never done that before, but we'll try it. And what a difference. Like, I love the flavor. I love the nutty, buttery taste, but I don't have that nasty, which I personally don't like stevia. So it wasn't a sad for me to have it removed and have a better solution, a better tasting solution. So I think that's one of the things. We also chose Myron glass. It was a little bit more expensive, but for us, that's a sustainable glass. You can, it's not going to damage the planet. You can reuse it, which I highly recommend you use your Myron glass for essential oils, or if you want to start an apothecary, you can use those glasses. It sustains the energy of anything you put into it. So it lasts a lot longer and it protects whatever you put into it. So it's just an extra mile that we went, not only with lowering the cost. And so we get a lot of people are like, why is it so cheap? I'm like, no, why are they so expensive? That's the
Now, that's
question you
one
should
way of
be
looking at it.
asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell me about, what do you see in the world, or what's your impact? What kind of impact do you want to make? What legacy do you want to leave in this space?
Well, that's a major question. I just want to help my clients and my friends and my family to to not have to ask the question that I think I can't remember which doctor said it, but he said people come to me and they say, why me? I'm telling you now. I'm telling you why now is what he said, and then he said that you have to take care of yourself, and that just stuck with me. I don't want to have to say why me. I don't want my friends, my clients, or my family. I want to like be like proactive health and prevent disease, and I want to help other people, and I really really believe in CBD. That's like the most important system, and by using a great oil, you can actually do so much balancing for your body.
Well, Hannah, it's been a treat having you on today. We're going to bring you back because we love you. Let's show your
Mhm.
books again and how they can get it just one more time before we close out.
Yeah. That's the Swedish one. It's been out for a while. The other one is hemp and CBD, available on Amazon.
Yay. Today we have a special treat. Hannah is on with us, and Hannah will be coming back. She is amazing, and I don't think you've even seen a little bit of what she's going to be doing as an impact here. She's just getting started, and I know that. You just have to write, it's like we found this like family, and I feel like you're part of our family, and I love that. So highlighting you is a treat.
Working with you guys is a treat. The Coco Vida family. It's not no longer a team, it's a family.
That's right. We are. We love you. Tune in for our next interview right now, and you can share this video with your friends who do not know about hemp and can hear Hannah's story and her journey. And again, you'll see her on being interviewed again as we can progress forward and get this bringing humanity back to nature across the line and with a victory. Right, Hannah?
Thank you.
We love you. Thank you, everybody,
I
for
love
tuning
you.
in. We'll see you next time. Bye bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Bye bye.